Man's best friend, as they say. Now, I was never quite sure whether that meant after all human friends have been considered, or before. You have gifts which are waiting to be opened. That appears to be all of the gifts. He seems particularly cheerful today, I think.
You are the one who survived the desert night.
Yes.
We have not had much fortune with outsiders. But as you can see, fortune deserted us long ago. You have come to a cursed land.
What are you doing here? Everybody else seems to be hiding.
I am honoring the dead. My wife and my child. And I stand here because I do not fear joining them.
I'm sorry.
You may read their memorials if you wish. There are many elsewhere. On statues, doorways, wherever a memory will allow itself to live on.
Now you know what we have suffered. But as I said before, you are not the first outsider to come here.
Who was the other?
His name was Logan, the King of Albion.
Seems your big brother's been keeping secrets. He used to go on expeditions all the time, remember? Until about 4 years ago.
He too faced the Crawler. He saw all his soldiers killed by the darkness and nearly died himself. But he survived thanks to our care. He left with a promise that he would return with an army and save us from the Crawler. We never saw him again. King Logan did not cause this, but he did nothing to stop it. Now I ask that you do what he would not. Ben Finn has told us of your quest, of your revolution. There are not many warriors left among us, but we have ships, and we are willing to fight beside you. Not because your brother wronged us, nor because we thirst for revenge, but because we want protection. We require aid if we are to survive. That is the promise you must make. Help us to rebuild Aurora and allow it to become a true part of your kingdom. Not a colony, not a thing to be used, but a place with a voice in your court. Will you make this promise?
I promise.
Then let us go to war.
You have survived a terrible ordeal, but you will be the stronger for it. With Kaelin and the Auroran people on your side, you are finally ready to face your brother. It is time for you and Walter to gather your allies and take Bowerstone Castle.
Is he gonna make it?
I do not know. The darkness is deep within him. Few ever wake.
But he's improving. I mean, you're doing your thing and he's getting better, right?
I do not wish to give you false hope.
Perhaps it would be better if we allowed him to rest.
Don't worry, he's a tough old nut. He'll pull through.
Walter?
Oh, balls to you all. You're not burying me just yet.
See? I told ya.
Yes. Shame my first sight had to be your ugly mug.
I'm sorry I left you, Walter.
You did all you could. And don't think I don't know it. I told you you'd make me proud. Well, we didn't exactly find the army we were hoping for. And I feel about 100 years older than when we left, but we're finally ready. You've surpassed every hope I had for you. You're the king Albion needs. So come on. It's time to gather your generals and prepare for battle. You know, maybe I'll take a little nap first.
All right, I've got it. I take a small group of soldiers down this route and blow up the west barracks. It will draw their attention and open up the main route.
How's that better than my idea?
We will live longer than a few seconds.
Oh, well, now you're just picking holes.
Give it up, boy. What I want to know is what my men need to do.
That's for the future king to decide.
Paige knows the city best. We'll follow her plan.
Fine. I only put mine forward to annoy her anyway.
I see you've really matured on your travels. If you'll look at the map, we can go through the details.
My ships will take you to the beach here.
We can expect heavy mortar fire, but most of Logan's soldiers will be busy dealing with Paige and her men.
I want to be in the thick of the smoke, and the fire, and the glory. If Paige takes the west route, it's only fair I take the east.
Which leaves the center to us. Less chance of getting lost.
Then we're agreed.
Are you sure you're up to this, Walter?
Oh, don't worry about me. I may feel old and tired, but the day hasn't come yet when I can't charge into a good old-fashioned fight. Let the battle for Albion begin!
Our people are getting torn to shreds out there. They need our help.
We need to take care of that mortar.
We've already lost one ship. Kalen's could be next. Come on.
He's right. It's time you led from the front. We'll follow every step of the way. Ready? Let's go!
Yes! We should paint some big targets on them next time. Make a game out of it. We'll never get through those gates while the mortar's there. How do you like that, then?
Good block, soldier!
Harry!
That showed him. You've used one of those mortars before. How about you blow off this one?
This is the moment we've been waiting for, isn't it? Well, waiting's over.
They should know better than to go against a hero. They don't stand a chance against him. We have to take the castle now.
Good work, soldier. That took care of another one.
Good. They might be faceless, but they're still nothing but men.
longer we stall, the more losses we lose.
Going to get. Where?
The mortar's down!
Get it there! He's using some kind of foul sorcery. Destroy him quickly! Flying shooting! Keep it up!
Defend yourself, soldier! The blasted dog is straight to blind. Look out! The Auroran ship should be able to move in closer now.
Okay, then do your stuff.
Take the fight into the city! Ah, a bit of close combat. This is life. Recognize your Walter, you humbug. Stop asking me. Let's go.
Pick up the pressure, soldier!
He should surrender.
Yes, you wounded him! Nick one of the sons! Block as much as you like! Good clean hit!
Flat on his arm. I bet you've been wanting to do that for a long time. That's keep it up. There's plenty more left. More guards.
Now that is my best shot in a long time! Sit you, please!
Good block, soldier!
That's how you handle the sword. That bullet's just yes!
Is this not the grandest time you've ever had?
Sabine, you almost blew us up.
You saw a glorious beacon of freedom burning in the night for all the... What is it, Boulder? Oh, bloody hell. Move! Move!
It'll take more than a grenade to finish off that old sod.
Meanwhile, let's do what he says and get moving, shall we? Well struck, keep that up and we'll get through them in no time. Bastard sods! Can't we have a moment's rest? You all right there? I'm going to slice you open like a melon. Eat straight up. Long live King Logan! Resistance! Ha! best trained soldiers in the kingdom.
Page!
Oh, about bloody time!
My men are taking care of the East Barracks, but I couldn't leave you out here alone.
That deserves a round of applause. That's right. Aim where it hurts.
Thanks for letting me slice you up. See? I can still aim straight.
Elite soldiers, my ass. Have that!
Stay alert. There'll be more coming. We have to find a way past this gate.
Always with the damn gates.
What we need are explosives, but I used mine up on the way here.
If only we knew some sort of tiny, crazy old man who enjoyed blowing things up.
Ha ha! Did you see that boulder that the whole city bowed to our thunder?
Hang on. How did you get to the other side in the first place?
Dwellers have their ways, my boy. Is there anyone left to kill?
There will be soon. More troops are on the way. Kalian's fleet got a fair few, but not all.
We'll hold them off.
Come on, Boulder, there's more fighting to be done.
Good luck in there. Hope the crown fits.
Let's finish this for good, while I can still stand up on my own. Shall we knock? No. Let's surprise him.
So, this is how it ends. The old fool and the child who ran away. You finally become the man I always wanted you to be.
He's a lot more than that, and now he's ready to take your place.
Perhaps the time has come for someone else to lead Albion.
You were never a leader. Just another tyrant.
Did it ever occur to you that I may have had good reason to be?
We're not interested in your reasons.
Cower behind ignorance if you will, but my brother deserves to know the truth.
Save it for the trial, Logan. You can beg for your life then. There he is. The King of Albion. You've made it. Just like I always knew you would. It doesn't get any easier, though. You have a country to run now. And with Jasper busy in the sanctuary, you'll need a new personal aide. Someone who can keep you organized. Let me introduce you to...
Hobson. Hobson's the name, Your Majesty. May I say what an extraordinary honor it is to serve you? I have a vast wealth of experience, I assure you, though I have yet to experience vast wealth. That, Your Majesty, is an example of the sense of humor which will no doubt make our time together such a delight.
No doubt. Well, I'll leave you two to get better acquainted. I should begin preparations for the trial.
The trial, of course. The very first item on today's agenda. Among my other qualities, I am well versed in toadying, public relations, and time management. And I heartily believe the key to being a successful king is following a well-scheduled royal agenda. If you will permit me, here are today's appointments. I'm sure you will do a marvelous job presiding over your brother's trial, which, as I said, will be your very first royal duty. Your subjects await in the throne room for what is sure to be an historic occasion, Your Majesty.
The promise you made to Kaelin is now on the wall with the others.
I cannot tell you what joy it brings me to see you crowned king at last. I served proudly under your father when he sat on the throne, and I will continue to serve you to the best of my abilities. But becoming a ruler does not mean you cease to be a hero. That is why I shall remain in the sanctuary. It is where I belong, after all. And with this new, terrible threat approaching, you will no doubt find the sanctuary as valuable as your castle.
All stand to attention for the King of Albion. Logan, former King of Albion, you stand accused today of crimes against the kingdom and its people. Those who brought you to justice will now speak.
There's not a soul alive in the kingdom who hasn't suffered for his glory, and plenty who've died for it. I says, let him have some death of his own.
Look, I'm not one for lopping people's heads off, but we saw Major Swift executed like it was a bloody circus act. He deserves nothing less as far as I'm concerned.
But aren't we better than that? Isn't that why we fought to be here now? I've seen what Logan has done to this city. People starving to death, children forced to work. But killing him now won't solve anything.
It is not my place to decide his fate, but his betrayal condemned many of my people to death. He promised us salvation, and then left us to face the darkness alone.
I had good reason to break that promise, and I had good reason for the crimes you claim I committed. The day I returned to Albion, I received a visit from a blind seer, Teresa, our father's guide. She showed me the future of this kingdom. The darkness in Aurora is coming here, bringing death, destruction, the end of our way of life. The sacrifices I had to make, I did them to protect Albion. If a few had to suffer, it was to build an army. If a few had to die, it was to save a country.
I have spent years preparing for this attack. Let me stand by your side now, and all my soldiers will be yours to command. Let us face the coming darkness, together.
This is true. If it's really coming here, we are all in grave danger.
You have the power over life and death, brother. Now choose.
Your brother's fate is in your hand.
This is not the time for revenge. We need your help, Logan.
The king has made his decision. Logan's life will be spared.
I know you will never forgive me for the things I've done. You told me so once, remember?
Of course I do.
But what matters now is that we defend our land. The castle is yours, and so is the throne. I'm glad to be rid of them.
You have fulfilled the first part of your destiny. You were little more than a child when you left the castle. You have become a hero, a leader, and now, finally, a monarch. But your journey is not yet done. Now you are king. You can know the truth. Albion will soon be attacked, and the threat could not be greater. Darkness is coming to our land. It cannot be reasoned with, it cannot be halted. The ruler of Albion is all that stands between the world we inhabit and that darkness. That is why you had to take your brother's place. The course of history demands it. If you do not succeed, everything we know will come to an end.
Why didn't you tell me all this at the start? It was never about Logan, was it?
I told you what you needed to know, and I never spoke anything but the truth. With Logan on the throne, Albion would have been doomed. This much I know. Only with a hero wearing the crown do we stand a chance of survival.
And how do I stop it?
You won't. Its arrival is inevitable. 1 year from now, the darkness will fall upon Albion. All you can do is prepare, and hope to save as many of your people as you can. How you do so is up to you. 2 paths lie ahead. You may keep the promises you have made and be known as a benevolent ruler. But understand that doing so will leave little to spend on the kingdom's protection and may lead you to disaster. It is not easy to be popular and keep the treasury full, unless you are willing to sacrifice your personal wealth. But you may also choose to break those promises, to harm your people in order to save them. You will not lack the means to build the army you need, but you will be hated. This path will cast you in the role of a tyrant, as it did your brother. You have 1 year to do what Logan could not. Be the ruler that readies Albion for the greatest threat it has ever faced, and be the hero that can stand against it.
Your Majesty, I'm not sure what to say after receiving such news. The darkness that is coming. People won't understand what it means. Nobody could, without living through it first. We need to prepare. If we can't stop the attack from happening, we have to be ready when it comes. Having Logan's troops on our side is a good start. But you will need to raise a fortune to pay for the army we'll need. Hobson will show you the treasury, and I'm sure he can explain just how to fill it.
Indeed I can.
Then I will leave you to it. Ben and I will begin recruiting and training soldiers at once.
If you will follow me, Your Majesty. Oh, how I have looked forward to this moment. This is it. Albion's royal treasury. The store of the kingdom's total wealth. It's, well, not as replete as one would like, but just imagine this room shimmering with hills, valleys, and plateaus of gold. A topography of riches going all the way up to the ceiling. It will require nothing less to build this army everyone is talking about. Which brings us to the second item on today's agenda, and one I'm personally very excited about. Setting the tax rate for the coming year. As you probably know, your brother was taxing the people rather heavily, and some say that this has led to poverty, starvation, and other societal ills. You have 3 clear choices, Your Majesty. 1, lower the tax rate, which one could argue would help the poor and the hungry, but would also leave the treasury in a miserable state. 2, maintain Logan's policies. Not a popular move with the people, but moderately popular with the treasury. And 3, and don't let my enthusiasm influence you in any way, raise the taxes even further. True, many will suffer in the short term, but we will be able to protect the kingdom and run our fingertips over vast amounts of gold in this very room. What will it be, Your Majesty? Very well, Your Majesty. Well, how very noble. Yes, I suppose noble is the word. How very noble of you. The people are no doubt dancing in the streets, and we are bankrupt. You will need to be more ruthless if you wish to save the kingdom, Your Majesty. There are other, less salubrious means of filling the treasury, of course. You may donate your own gold, should you have enough. Though I must say, such charity is unheard of. However you decide to proceed, you should acquaint yourself with the Royal Ledger. It is a logbook that allows the reigning monarch to make deposits and withdrawals from the treasury. A most useful financial tool. But my, look at the time! You really ought to attend to the next item on today's agenda. Reva has a most intriguing proposal for you in Bowerstone Industrial. Now, I know you have had your differences, but it is time to put those behind you and work together. Nobody can raise money like Reva can, I assure you. I have seen to it that your appearance among the populace is well publicized, so expect a crowd.
Don't tempt me, Weaver.
happy day! His Majesty, the King of Albion, graces us with his radiant presence. I knew last time we met that you would emerge victorious from such public sibling rivalry. And now, here I am, to assist you in filling your coffers till they are fit to burst. What better way to begin your reign than by reinstating one of my most successful policies? There is no greater waste than the idleness of our city's youth, but my employment scheme guarantees children of all ages will have something to occupy them, whilst ensuring our factories are properly manned.
It's just monstrous. Don't listen to him. You promised you would end child labor. Remember that promise now.
And what would you have us do with the snotty little indigents?
The only way Bowerstone is going to climb out of the gutter is through education. Nothing is more important to our future than that. Turn this factory into a school. Give the children of this city the chance they never had.
A school? Well, that's an original thought. Well, if you'd like to be known as a pauper monarch, then by all means, listen to her. Reaver Industries will abide by your decision.
The factory will become a school.
Thank you. We can really start changing people's lives now. This will be an Albion worth fighting for.
I shall begin the necessary modifications at once. Welcome to Reaver Industries Learning Center, Bowerstone Industrial's first ever school. You can now feel secure in the knowledge that your children can become the well-educated automatons you always wanted them to be.
Oh, wait. I thought I did. It wasn't me, miss. I'm never naughty. Not very often, really. I just have a big imagination. Miss?
At your service, my king.
Hello, superhero.
Greetings, my lord.
No finer goods in all of...
Yay! The king! Wow! Oh, wow! Hello! Woohoo!
Woohoo!
Hello, sir. My lord.
Hello there.
Wahey! Hello, Your Majesty. That was a great coronation.
How are you, Your Majesty?
It's you! It's really, really, really you!
Greetings, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, the king.
Magnificent and well.
Today, You will decide what is to be done with the Bowerstone Old Quarter, site of the Battle for Albion. Paige will offer her proposal. Riva shall stand against her.
You may speak.
Your Majesty, our victory came at a great cost to the city. You vowed to fight poverty, but our actions have made the problem worse. You must act now. I ask that the Old Quarter be rebuilt, and its former residents rehomed. You wouldn't just be helping those in great need. You'd be sending a message to your people. They're scared, Your Majesty. Let them know they can count on you.
Your Majesty, the Old Quarter was indeed devastated by your glorious triumph, but as its name subtly implies, it was old. The cost of rebuilding the area would be a colossal waste of money, and the people who called its decrepit shambles of streets and houses their home are better off without it. Besides, one must question what they have to offer our society. Why build homes for the inept and the unskilled? I recommend you reject Paige's proposal and keep the money for more deserving endeavors.
It was our actions that caused the devastation, Your Majesty. But the final decision rests with you.
The more people there are on the streets, the more problems you'll have in the long run.
We destroyed the Old Quarter. It's only right we rebuild it.
The king has reached his decision. The Old Quarter shall be rebuilt, and its former residents will have their homes returned.
Thank you, Your Majesty. This will be a very popular move.
I suppose there may be something to be gained by rebuilding part of the city. It shows our sense of industry has not yet been dampened. Very well, Your Majesty. Despite the current climate of fear and great national need, Riva Industries has once again struck a blow for the honest man on the street. The sad sight of the decayed and war-torn Old Quarter is no more. We are proud to present the new Old Quarter.
It breaks one's heart to see the treasury so empty. If we don't do something about it, we will all die. And I have some very definitive retirement plans. As a matter of fact, our very first order of business might have a bearing on our financial situation. The time has come to decide the annual town guard budget. As you can imagine, the people like to complain about crime and the lack of safety on our streets, and are calling for more guards than your brother was ever willing to pay for. You have 3 choices, Your Majesty. Leave the budget as it is. After all, the people have grown accustomed to murder, theft, and contraband. Increase the budget and fill the streets with soldiers keeping the peace. A rather costly solution. Or take a more considered approach by lowering the budget. For what is the point of a safe, well-policed kingdom when it is too poor to protect itself from certain annihilation? If we are to pay soldiers, surely they should be part of an army, not patrolling the streets. Indeed, Your Majesty. Why make any changes in such an innocuous matter? So people don't feel safe. Is that such a terrible thing? Let us now turn our attention to the rest of today's business. Here is the royal schedule I have prepared. As you can see, you have a busy day in the court, but a tremendously enjoyable one. Decoration is a passion of mine, and I simply cannot wait to see your choice. The interior designers await you in the throne room.
Awaiting your command, my lord.
I'm at your command.
His Majesty, the King of Albion.
Oh my! Hail and well met, your most gracious Majesty. Your Majesty, so good to see you, Your Grace. Your wonderfulness, your munificence.
Today you decide on the decor of the castle. Two of Albion's greatest interior designers have come to present their suggestions.
You may speak.
Your Majesty, I am Herman Worthy, and I have a design in mind that will blow your little royal socks off. Imagine a celestial scheme capable of lifting the shadows that haunt these halls. A fabulous balance of serene hues that announce to the world, I am a strong, virtuous leader. Hear me roar. But also, look how pretty my home is. You are an enlightened king. Let the heart of your castle be enlightened too.
Celestial? Serene? Pretty? Do you wish to be known as a ruler or as a fool? I am Sybil Maleficent, Your Majesty, and I can tell you that people respect what they fear. This castle should be a fortress of dread. I propose that we flood the rooms and corridors with blood, or at least a suitable paint substitute. Let all those who look upon this palace know terror.
I wish this to be an enlightened castle.
Oh, fabulous, Your Majesty, fabulous! Your castle will be a vision of purity.
And what's more, fashion and good taste must choke down their nausea.
Today you decide on the future of Aurora, Your Majesty. Kaelin will speak for her people. Riva will dispute her cause.
You may speak.
I am here to seek the protection you promised. It is too long since my people felt safe, or knew of life without suffering. We were honored to join...
I will keep my promise. Aurora will become part of Albion, and its people will be our equals in every way.
The king has spoken. Aurora shall be rebuilt as part of Albion, and equal to every other part of the kingdom.
Thank you, Majesty. You have proven to be a man of honor. Aurora is proud to stand at your side.
Welcome to the new and improved Aurora, an oasis of friendship, camaraderie, and many other lovely things. Visit the city that Riva Industries rebuilt from sand, stone, and corpses. Enjoy the sunshine, the odd local customs, and the heavy soldier presence. Aurora, a light blooming in the darkness.
A most brave decision in court today, Your Majesty. Aurora might have proven to be a rather profitable resource, but I'm sure we can find other means of filling the treasury. As a matter of fact, we could already have stumbled upon such an opportunity. Aurora may not turn out to be a waste after all. It seems that a group of Albion explorers visiting Aurora have discovered a rare diamond in the desert. They heard the legend of this extraordinary gem from the locals, and understandably set out to find it, without a moment's regard for their own lives. Which may go some way to explaining why only one of the explorers returned in one piece. He came back empty-handed, speaking of the hideous desert beings protecting the treasure. Think of the glory, Your Majesty, the adventure, the romance, the large sums of money we stand to make. The diamond is located in one of the caves beneath the Auroran wasteland, reportedly the site of an ancient, abandoned temple. You need only to take it.
Everything all right, Your Majesty? My lord?
At your orders, sir.
My lord.
Well, you'd better watch your step. Me musket's loaded.
Oh, we can dance. Yeah.
Good stuff. Well, you'd better watch your step.
What?
Follow me, baby.
Oh!
Yes! Homie, homie, homie!
You look like you know your business.
Greetings, Your Majesty.
Oh, raw!
Killer, ain't ya? Don't try any of that murder.
What was that?
Don't try any of that murdering business on my watch. Greetings, sir.
That's quite good, that is. That's just super.
Lovely to meet you.
I love it.
Oh, yeah.
Cheers, mate. Pretty great.
Hi, big shot.
Awaiting your command, my lord. Your Majesty.
There's a killer walking amongst us. Where?
Yo!
So the old...
Oi, you!
Oh, yes.
Follow me, baby.
Yeah! My lord, at your orders, sir. Hey, 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 hey!
No.
Oh, you are a one. Quality stuff. Pure and simple.
There's a killer walking amongst us. Well, we know
That's
you're
right,
and we're
King.
watching. Well done. That's good work.
At your service, my king.
Greetings, my lord.
Yeah!
I'm afraid your property was irreparably damaged during the battle. A little something new has appeared in the sanctuary shop. Care to have a look? Why not treat yourself to something new? A hero's work is never done, it seems. A new challenge has presented itself. Ah, a new ensemble. That's just what you need. Not that there's anything wrong with your current wardrobe. I mean, especially wrong. New dog breeds. Splendid. They would liven things up. What about a little something new? Shake things up, as they say. Well, I think they say that.
Your Majesty.
Ah, hello. You have a decidedly noble air about you. It suits you. I hope your clothes aren't becoming uncomfortably roomy. You're becoming stronger all the time. It is most impressive. They gave you rather a horrible time, didn't they? You have a decidedly noble air about you. It suits you. I have arranged the room to store your fortune as well as your trophies and achievements. Each of these trophies represents a significant achievement, though they're different from achievements. I'll try to stick to more consistent terminology. Just doing a bit of bookkeeping, eh? There are new items available in the...
Majesty, I'm so chuffed with your rule, I've got a present for you. Yippee!
Yay! Thanks.
Yay! Cool.
Always a pleasure.
Wait till I tell
The
Mum.
king!
Or as Mummy says, the big cheese.
If things get any worse, I'll have to close down. And this will become a ghost town.
You have triumphed in many battles. I wonder, have any of those victories had any significance? Countless brigands, chiefs and generals have made war before you, slaughtering their fellows until the ground became sodden and crimson. Yet despite all this bloodshed, there is no end to conflict. All the questions they fought to settle remain open. War is self-sustaining. War will never end, because there will always be those willing to wage it, unless you kill them. And that will require a massive weapon of supreme, devastating power. Have you got anything like that? Come on now, give us a look. Is that a weapon? I thought perhaps it was a bottle opener. What I'm talking about is ending wars. You couldn't even begin one with that. Oh, I can see that weapon has done some killing. Yes, I'm sure you once laid it down on a table and it accidentally squashed a biscuit weevil. Is that a weapon? I thought perhaps it was a bottle opener. Oh, I can see that weapon has done some killing. Yes, I'm sure you once laid it down on a table and it accidentally squashed a biscuit weevil. What I'm talking about is ending wars. You couldn't even begin one with that. Oh, I can see that weapon has done some killing. Yes, I'm sure you once laid it down on a table and it accidentally squashed a biscuit weevil. Is that a weapon? I thought perhaps it was a bottle opener. What I'm talking about is ending wars. You couldn't even begin one with that.
Welcome to the Sanctuary. That appears to be all of the gifts. Fancy a bit of counting, do you? This room is quite enormous. I wonder how much wealth it would take to fill it. Any other business to attend to?